Hey, welcome back to my show, Nights and Weekends, with me, Marcus, the one man band. I run this whole show. So, let me reiterate to certain people who I know in real life who watch my videos. The reason, and they know the reason why the show is called Nights and Weekends, the reason the show is called Nights and Weekends, because that's the only time I get to work on it. I have a full-time freaking job where I work a lot of hours. Okay. So it's called Nights and Weekends for a reason. And for some other people, is this loud enough or is this not loud enough? I think it might be a little bit too loud. But I just want to make sure that we are
Are we clear?
Yes, sir.
Are we clear?
Crystal.
on the reason as to why the show is called what it is. So this is episode 3. It's called Build the Damn Wall. And no short terms. We need to build the wall, period. Okay. So let us take a look at our current immigration policy. It essentially started back in 1965.
This system violated the basic principle of American democracy, the principle that values and rewards each man on the basis of his merit as a man.
Prior to that, you had essentially like a quota system, and it mostly took from Western Europe. Okay. And they went ahead, they eliminated the quota system and allowed more immigrants from many different parts of the world to be able to come on into the country. That's a good thing, to be able to reduce racism and discrimination based on race. And they essentially replaced it with the skills requirement. So let's click here. And at the time, 70% of the public actually agreed with the new law, saying, hey, we shouldn't keep people out just because of their national origin. Maybe we should let people in based on what they can do. So the law basically changed in a few ways. It prioritized individuals with that were relatives of U.S. citizens. It also prioritized people who had skills. Now, something that the folks snuck in that we're kind of dealing with today, almost 60 plus years later, is that skills also included refugees, which again, I don't understand how you can have a preference for refugees and somehow put that under the skills category, which makes zero sense to me. Okay. And relatives in the U.S. would be if you have an immediate relative, a child, a spouse, parents. They were not restricted. So a lot of people end up getting in also because of the relatives clause. Okay. Now, essentially, they capped it at 170,000 for the Western Hemisphere and 120,000 for the essentially for the rest of the world. Or do I have that in verse? I don't know, but it's essentially like 290,000 is what they capped it at, and as you can tell, we just blew through that. Okay. Then you fast forward to 1986.
President Reagan did sign the sweeping new Immigration Reform Act today. He said it protects the sacred possession of American citizenship. Millions of illegal aliens will be eligible for amnesty and will be able to apply for legal residency status, no questions asked.
So, here we go. This is the only thing that really take away from this. So, we end up having a ton of illegals who were working here in this country. And as a person who used to hire people, you have something called an I-9, which you had to bring in 2 forms of ID. That was started with this law that Ronald Reagan had passed in 1985. And he also gave essentially blanket amnesty to ultimately between 2 to 3 million illegal people who should not be here. Okay. So we end up going to present day. Now, I had a nice little graph from Statista, but somehow you check on it one day, it's fine. You check on the next day, it's behind a paywall. I'm not paying for it, okay? I need my money, okay? So no, not going to pay for that. But here we go. I had wrote down the information, so you can take my word for it or you can go look it up yourself, whichever. Anyway, so from the year 2000 to the year 2020, you had a steady decline of about maybe 1.5 million people caught at the border and sent back, down to about 500,000 in the year 2020. It shot up to a ridiculous number. Matter of fact, I'm just going to show you the number because I was blown away at this. Actually, no, I wasn't, but you will. So this is right here, the nationwide encounters from 2021, 1.9 million, 2022, 2.7 million, 2023, 3.2 million people. And this is nationwide. These are nationwide encounters. Okay. Now, you're going to be somewhat shocked at the amount that just comes from the southwest border. Of that 3.2 million, 2.4 million of those encounters happened down in the southwest. Okay. 2.3 million in 2022. 1.73 million in 2021. Okay. It is like as if someone rung the cowbell for the borders to be open.
And the fact is, I've made it very clear. Within 100 days, I'm going to send to the United States Congress a pathway to citizenship for over 11 million undocumented people.
Yeah, him. That's the person who you elected. Okay, I didn't vote for the guy, but he's still my president. Okay, so that's our president. He run the cowbell. People came. Okay, so God, again, this is insane. So just in the month of, I'm sorry, just for the year, God, this is insane. 1.7 known gotaways at the southern border. That's people who they know just ran past and they saw on video later and they're gone. It's unbelievable. It's absolutely unbelievable. But again, this is what we do. So who does who does illegal immigration hurt the most? Okay. Now, you can go down the rabbit hole like how I did, where you can sit and you can take a good long look. There are studies that say that it hurts a little, it hurts a lot, it hurts none, it hurts, it's a positive, but most of them end up pointing to a disproportionate amount of the hurt that comes from illegal immigration is felt by the people who are less or least capable to actually deal with it. And unfortunately, that happens to be a disproportionate amount of black men who do not have at least a high school diploma. Why is it okay for your toxic, misguided compassion for people who are not U.S. citizens? Why is your toxic compassion okay to screw these people over? Why? Your loyalty should be to your American citizen first. Everybody else comes second. So it's completely misguided. Okay. The cost of letting in all these illegals, it adds up pretty quickly. So let's take a look at that. So it depresses the wages of non-high high school educated American citizens. Okay, first and foremost. And it disproportionately falls on black men. Okay, so we can look here. And this is from the Atlanta Journal-Constitution. This is back in 2008. Okay, so the cost back in 2008 was about 1/7. This is for the children of the illegal immigrants. It was 1/7 of the budget to just take care of them. And again, this is from 16 years ago. Imagine what it is today. It's a lot. We are going to be giving health care to illegals. Another 700,000 people, $3.1 billion. And again, at the end of the day, platitudes don't put food on the table. Okay? At the end of the day, you have to go out and you have to work, you have to produce, you have to tax, you have to spend. With stupid freaking platitudes, it doesn't feed anybody. It doesn't. Okay? So let us look at what is going on over here in New York. Now, this is an estimate from the Conservative Federation of American Immigration Reform. They estimate that New York by itself, just by itself, will end up paying $10 billion this fiscal year to take care of the illegal migrants who came to their city. Now, again, this is what he chose to do.
No, not at all. This city has always been a sanctuary city, and we've always managed those who wanted to come to New York City to pursue the American dream.
That is what he chose to do, and now you have to pay the consequences of it. That is on him.
I don't see an ending to this. This issue will destroy New York City.
Let us go back to why the wall will work, okay?
Son, we live in a world that has walls, and those walls have to be guarded by men with guns.
A wall will work, much like how the doors and walls of your house work. I was told that houses... I was told once upon a time that houses have doors on them just because that's how they're built, okay? That's obviously not true, okay? Houses have doors on them and walls, one, to keep the elements out, two, to say who can and cannot come inside of your residence. The same thing would work for a wall. A wall would be out there 24 hours a day, 365 days a year, 366 days a year in a leap year, keeping the majority of people from coming into the country. Okay? And FYI, if we don't do it, you're going to continuously see this.
Tonight in southern Mexico, a new migrant caravan is heading north.
Out of a wave of more than 1,000 migrants who chose to risk their lives crossing the Rio Grande in Eagle Pass, Texas this week.
Lo tiene desesperado. Queremos una mejor vida para la familia también.
And the thing that's bad is that you will essentially have, and I hate to put it like this, but it's the truth. You will essentially have the person who you voted for taking no responsibility for it. Now, the thing that's nice, I've been like this since, I don't know, 2000. I was like, no, we need to secure the border, period. Okay, so I've been pretty consistent on this from day one. And the main takeaways I want for y'all to take away from this video is out of control. 2, this stuff costs money. It is not free to take care of people who are poor, who are not skilled, and then they come into your place. Your country can kind of be considered like a country club. You pay taxes, you get certain privileges like roads, blah, blah, blah. You have all this stuff, okay? You can't have people come into the place who are going to be a net negative on your local government and then think that everything's going to be okay. No, sorry. I wish it didn't have to be like this, but I think that this guy was right.
If we go back, they'll swamp the boat. They'll pull us right down, I'm telling you.
Okay? It is. That's just the way it is. And since we do not live in paradise, like how Milton Friedman said.
Let me go to your fundamental question. First place, nirvana is not for this world. There is no paradise.
We have to then deal with what Thomas Sowell said.
What is the conservative premise?
That man is flawed from day one, and that there are no solutions, there are only trade-offs, and whatever you do to deal with one of man's flaws, it creates another problem, but that you try to get the best trade-off you can get, and that's all you can hope for.
And that's pretty much it. It costs us. It hurts American citizens who are least capable of providing for themselves. It makes their life harder. Okay? Tons of people end up dying out in the desert of Mexico and also in the United States. Tons of drugs are brought into this country. And who is benefiting from any of this? Who is? Okay? So we can call the wall racist if you want. I don't care. I do not care at all. It isn't racist. It's stupid to call it racist. But that's it. Build the wall. Let us get on with it, and let us get back to, I don't know, making America great again. All right? See y'all next week. Bye.
Okay. So let me add this to the very end of it. I am by no means for no immigration. That is how your country ends up backsliding. Almost every single last isolated civilization, once they isolate themselves, they fall backward. I just wanted to add that on there. Okay, so you can look at China. When they cut off the world, they slid back. Okay, so we have to make sure that when we do have people come here, in all honesty, we're taking the best of the best of the best from around the world, having them assimilate to our culture and add to our beautiful culture of the United States. That's it. All right. Now, this is a serious goodbye.